This is Aussie Mac Zone. We'll cover everything Apple, including Macs, iPhones, iPads, and more. All this from an Aussie perspective. Sit back, relax, and insert yourself into the zone. The Aussie Mac Zone.
Hi everybody, welcome to show 264 Aussie Mac Zone. This week we're brought to you by startnewcompany.com.au and Audio Pizza on iTunes. So don't forget, we're lucky enough to have Garth again. How are we, Garth?
Good day, fellas. How's it going?
Hey, Garth. How you doing?
Zarn, Michael, listeners, good to be back.
Yeah, much better when you're here.
Yeah, I know.
And the other dulcet tones. Zarn, how are you, buddy?
Oh, I'm great, Michael. Thanks for asking.
Now, something we've almost missed. If you're listening to this live, you've still got a chance to get in. Apple's special shopping event, 23rd, 24th, 25th, 26th. So you've still got a couple of hours to go to get iTunes cards when you buy Apple gear.
That's awesome.
Ranging from $20 to $200 from memory. Yeah, and I did put that up on the Aussie Mac page on Apple News as soon as I found out about it. Now, what's going on here? Because I haven't got my news page hasn't updated after adding some stuff to it just recently. Sorry about this, people. I'm just waiting for...
That's all right.
So, story number one was about, which I'm just going to pick on people because it's all been about Apple cutting production. Apple's cut production of the iPhone 10, the X, the XS, the XR. It's all about production cuts. If you go back over the last 4 years, they've done exactly the same thing. So is it really news?
No.
Because they make millions, they release it, they sell millions, and then they cut production because it wanes after the first, they've still got enough. They've just got to make enough to keep going now, not for the people like most of us that try and buy it on the first day sort of thing.
Well, that's right. They know how it works now. Like, they've been doing this for long enough. The hype's, once the hype's there, everyone goes out, buys their phone, and then, all right, now they're going to slow down production, stop it for a little while, and then they'll slowly release a few more.
It's just like, it's the biggest news. It's been the only news this week, other than, like, what else is there? Like, I don't know.
They're questioning the billionaires, they know how to do this.
Unfortunately, the news is how the news is not the news.
So yes, So anyone got any other comments on that before I move on? Because it's...
No, move on. Move on. That's what it deserves.
Yep.
Anybody want to be a guest on our show? Please just drop us a line. We've had a couple of people drop a line, and we'll get them on over the next few weeks. I promise you. So
excellent.
Yeah, please line up and come on. Tell us what you do. Tell us why you like Apple stuff. Yeah. Now, story number two. That basically, as I said, there hasn't been any stories. It's either been iPhone production cuts or Black Friday special deals.
Yes.
Or Cyber Monday special deals. Like nothing else. Like everyone's trying to give you the best price on the best, the newest roll of toilet paper. Like just, that's all the news. Black Friday, Cyber Monday. So thank you, everybody.
Garth's toilet paper
Absolutely,
has
that's what I've
braille
heard
on it,
about.
so he knows which side to use.
And now...
I couldn't hear.
Oh, sorry, mate. I was just making fun of you. I apologise.
That's all right.
So,
Won't be the first one.
Reminder this week, we are brought to you by startnewcompany.com.au. Now, you go online, you start filling in your company details for the new company that you've got this magic idea for. You save it, you go and do some more research, or you run out of time. You come back, you fill it all out, you get all your proper ASIC documentation that you need, and you end up with a company right at the end of it. Bargain price. Unfortunately, you've now missed the intro price that's been up for a few weeks now. But startnewcompany.com.au, and if it's not as easy as just fill out one or two pages of information. It's what you've got to do to keep going every year as well, which is something you have to keep in mind. So startnewcompany.com.au. Now for something completely different. Our gift wants or suggestions, not only tech, anything that we want for Christmas. Or, it might be something we bought during the year and we think is really good and people should buy it as well. So, Zarn, let's start with you.
Excellent. Well, gentlemen, I have on my list, let me get it up. I've got number one, in no particular order, but I'll start because I've got it here, number one. Number one is a Dodao. It's a machine that helps you relax and meditate and get a better night's sleep. This helps you naturally and faster. Instead of, like people who are either using medications or other forms of sleep therapy, this is just quite easy. It's like a meditation machine. It just helps you sort of basically, what's the word I'm looking for?
Remain calm.
Yeah, it's to remain calm, and it gives you the constant. When you're trying to get there, and doesn't let your brain run away. It gives you that control over it, and it's got a Dodao.
Is it like a white noise type thing, or what does it do?
It's got a few different settings. So it can be. There's one that leads you into a sleep meditation. There's ones there's white noise. There's a few different settings on it.
How does it compare to a bottle of red wine?
It doesn't give you as much as a hangover.
Important distinction, that one.
Yes. Unless you eat it, then I can't guarantee that.
The problems will be many and varied.
Number two is.
We'll go around the bend. Come on, mate.
Right.
Garth, you're next, mate. You're next.
Sorry,
All
I
right.
apologise.
Not very original. But what I really want, after having a Google HomePod for most of the year, is my Apple HomePod back.
Really?
Yeah. Still just want the HomePod. And, like Google Home, maybe it's a little bit more functional and does a few more, the queries are a bit better, but whatever. The music side of it, kids want the HomePod too.
And the HomePod's had a lot of upgrades since you
Absolutely.
got it.
It really has.
Got it and especially the multi-timers. Yeah.
Well, that was never a problem to me anyway. I couldn't care less about multi-timers, but I know that is important to a lot of people, so that's good.
Yeah.
But for what I want a speaker for, which is to play music, HomePod is the thing.
Yeah.
And I see that there are some sales on at the moment. I see Myer has them for $4.49. Myer and some of those big box stores.
Yeah.
Have them for $50 off the usual Apple price of $4.99, so down to $4.49.
Yeah, that's good.
Do you think Apple will match that price?
No.
And are they selling them in the refurb section of Apple?
Ooh, interesting. I could get my own one back. I hadn't thought about looking there, Zarn. Good idea.
Yeah. Also, that's my number 3, by the way, the HomePod. I just want to add that.
Okay.
So we don't have to revisit that.
That's why we have to go around that's why we have to go around the table. You need to come up with a new number 3 now.
That's right. So, I've got this a thing called the Innova Sous Vide Precision Cooker, which is $149 Australian. Now, there is a slightly cheaper one, which apparently it's very noisy, the cheaper one, for some reason. They've changed something in the water pump inside and makes it very noisy. But sous vide cooking is basically you have a vacuum bag, you chuck it in the water, and this just heats the water up and keeps turning the water over and over and over again. And after a couple of hours, you take your steak out and it's super tender, and then you just sizzle it up on both sides, and away you go. Also, you can prepare meals during, you might do a lot of cooking on the weekend and then put them in the vacuum bags and then chuck them in, and there's your lunch, for example, pretty quickly.
The thing it does with steaks and things like that is absolutely magnificent. It turns a normal cut of meat into something spectacular, especially if you then char grill it. Just to get that burn on each side with a little bit of butter and pepper, salt. Awesome.
Yeah. Yep. I had a episode of Audio Pizza on the sous vide on a particular one from Amazon too, actually, not long ago.
Okay. Yeah.
A while ago with
what number episode? Do you know?
Quite a blind friendly type of device as well, because the water is not hugely hot. It doesn't matter if you cook it for an hour, 15, or an hour 20. As long as it's roughly the right length of time, you're sweet. And and like you say, it just comes out beautifully. So
What number episode do you know, Garth?
No. 110.
He'll look it up and tell us.
That's right. I just like to hear the review. That's all. I'd actually go and listen to that. So yeah.
So Alex, Lindsay, and Leo give a whole story on. I've got a YouTube link for it about goods and bads and things to watch out for, and why not to get don't go for the cheapest vacuum bags and things like that. So I will have a link to the YouTube episode on that.
Also,
so Zarn,
talking vacuum bags quickly.
Episode 116.
There you go. Excellent. Talking vacuum bags quickly. Audi's vacuum bagger is on the cheapest side, but it is good. So, yeah.
It's good, yeah?
Yes, it is. It's good.
Okay. I'll look for that when I can, because this is what I want. So, episode 116, Audio Pizza.
Excellent.
We'll put that in the show notes as well.
There you go.
Yeah. So, number 2, Zarn, what have you got down for your second choice?
Well, number 2 is on my personal wish list, because I asked the family what we wanted. But this is my personal wish list, and I'm pretty sure if I play my cards right, I may get one. And that's the Atari Flashback 9. And
what is that?
Sorry?
What is it?
Atari Flashback 9. So it's an old Atari. It's like the 2800 or 2600. I can't remember now. But from when we were kids, or when I was a kid.
Yeah.
And it's got, I think it was like something like 2,000 games built in. I may be wrong here. It might be 200 games. Don't quote me on that. I've only read a little bit about it because I wasn't really allowed to look at it. Kellyanne said that I was allowed to have a quick glance at it. If I wanted it, then I wasn't allowed to look at it anymore. So I looked at it and went, yes, I want that. And so that's, I want that because I know that it comes with Donkey Kong, Pac-Man, Galaga, Space Invaders, Pitfall. Those games that I love. And were the first games I ever played. Frogger. I love Frogger so much. I can play Frogger for hours. So that's my number 2.
Garth, you're it.
All right. Once again, not very original, but the new Mac Mini. I want one of those so bad.
After talking about it a couple of weeks ago, you're just like, I need it.
Yeah. And I'd spec out up, the processor as high as it goes. 16, 32 big bits of bits. Big of RAM. I'm not gonna. I don't need 64. That's okay. I'm not greedy.
Yeah.
I'd be happy with a 512. TB hard drive.
That's right.
Obviously, would be better, but I may do with 16 and 512 and just spec out that processor. Oh yes. Now, just the other day, my son spilt some water on my MacBook Air.
Oh.
And an hour, I didn't really realize. An hour or so later, I went to turn it on, and I heard a little noise. I thought, oh shit, That's right. I mean, oh dear. That's right. I just left it, opened it, sort of had it left it open on its side, and didn't go near it again for about 12 hours.
Yeah.
And then in the morning, turned it on, and it worked.
Oh, that's lucky.
So I was so relieved. However, I was also kind of disappointed because I might have got an excuse to go.
So what you have to think about, it may not be perfect yet. You might still have a chance. What happens is moisture goes down between the trackpad and the just under the space bar.
Yeah.
But between the trackpad and the wall is a space around the trackpad.
Yeah.
And it goes in there, lands on the cable, and then goes in the connector, and the connector corrodes away.
Right. Well, this water didn't go that way. It's kind of worse, I would have thought. Imagine if the MacBook Air was sitting like face closed up, but vertical, with the bit you open down, so across the top, into the screen, into the top of the machine, like where the speakers are.
Okay.
So it went in there. So
yeah,
I'm still nervous. Still nervous.
That's right. Yeah.
Would it be worth, you reckon, Michael, given that, taking it in for a service to?
I'd just take it to someone and ask them to take the back off and take the battery off and just let it fully dry, or at least stick it in a bag of rice.
Yeah.
Like sealed up in a bag of rice, put it in the window. But yeah, I would say undo the bottom and just disconnect the battery and let it really, really dry.
Yeah, right.
Unfortunately,
working on the school kid ones, I've seen it a couple of times too. What Michael's talking about, he showed me first. He's like pulled one apart. We've seen the corrosion there. So,
yeah. This poor little MacBook Air, 2014. It's been so reliable.
They are.
They're a great little thing. Kellyanne's got one. It's fantastic.
My choice is an Anker PowerWave stand, the Qi charger. They're $79.99 Australian. Now, I like this because it's a stand. It's not one you lay the phone on. It actually stands the phone up at about a 75-degree angle.
Yeah.
So you don't actually, the complaints are always people knocking their phones off the ones that you just lay it on, or don't quite sit it on properly where it doesn't charge. This one stands up, so you basically stand it there and away you go. There's also another one from 12 South, which I've seen just recently, and it's a picture frame. So you can have a picture in there. I could have a picture of Zarn in there, and you can put your phone in the picture frame and just cover him up and it'll charge, so I don't have to think about him too often. Or you can have
that's what I do.
Wallpapers on your phone, the special wallpaper that they give you, and a thing that you can print that goes in the picture frame, because you can put whatever you like in the picture frame. But there's some photos you can put in the picture frame, print them out yourself, and then the wallpaper on your phone matches it. So when it's sitting there together, it all looks like one thing. Just something different. That's by 12 South. That's an interesting one as well. Zarn, number 3 that you have to make up.
Yeah, well, my number 3 is the iPad mini, because my eldest, who's 4, is into Pokemon Go at the moment. He's crazy about Pokemon, just absolutely crazy about it. And we've looked at the other tablets, and we looked at Samsung, we've looked at, the Leno or whatever it is, and we had a Pendo, but the Pendo's now no longer compatible. And so I just thought, well, like I said, the other ones are a little bit cheaper, but they don't have the update capacity, and they don't have the reliability of the Apple iPad. So I think, iPad mini will be my number 3, because that way I can play Pokemon Go with my sons.
Yeah. Would you think of the 9.7, the low end 9.7 that they have now, which is, I think, is bigger and better processor and cheaper than the Mini.
Yeah, right. The reason I wanted the Mini is because they're still young, and the bigger pad is
Bit too big.
a bit too big from the handle. I don't want him to, sort of be walking around with it, trip and drop. Where the Mini's the right size for his little hands.
Yeah, makes sense.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
You have to think about, like, you can get the really big cases, because that's what Karen's got for one of our iPad minis at the moment, that she takes to her mum who's got dementia and stuff, and it's a lot frailer now, so that she's got plenty to grab hold of, so she can look at the photos that they're trying to show each other and things like that. So there are some big cases you can get, but nothing's guaranteed to stop from breaking, unfortunately.
That's right.
So Garth, next one for you, my friend.
Number 3.
Yeah.
Once again, we're still on Apple. The Apple Sports Band.
Okay.
Now I've got one of the nice Melanie's loops, the original Melanie's Apple loops, but I never wear it. I always just wear these Velcro Sports Band.
Yeah.
So they're so comfortable. So I know they're just the most practical of all of the Apple bands that I've had. Quick, easy, comfortable. They don't move around. Like the Melanie's loop always used to slide a bit.
Yeah.
Slip, and these things, even though they're just a strip of Velcro, they're fantastic. Someone who Apple Watch person, they don't have one of these bands, there's a not too expensive Apple present you can get for them.
Yeah.
Nice range of colours and so forth as well.
And just to keep in mind, you can buy cheap ones on eBay for every Apple band you can think of. But the Melanie's loop ones, the colours definitely go off after only like 6 months. Yep. A lot of the rose gold, for example, will disappear off the cheap ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, they just get knocked up really easy. But yeah, just be careful of that. And the Apple Sports Band gets lots of raves from people that use them.
Yeah, okay.
Lots of raves. Yeah.
What's your number 3, Michael?
I've got Apple iPhone XR. I'd already have one if our telcos would let us have eSIMs for our phones. That part I just do not understand why they won't let us have an eSIM for our phone yet. But I would go for an XR iPhone in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
A, because I want to try the XR, and B, so I can only have to carry one phone.
C, because they have 512 gig of memory.
No, I'm happy with my 64.
Oh wow!
I back up my photos to myself, or you can pay a little bit more every month for Apple's backup. But I'm quite happy doing what I do. If it gets close, I just throw away some photos, and I take lots of photos every day just for insurance work. So, but yeah, give us please, telcos, give me an eSIM. Why can't I have one?
So I can have an iPhone 10.
So my wife can have an iPhone 10.
Yeah, right.
So yeah, that's driving me batty at the moment. That because I just don't understand why I can't have an eSIM.
I remember discussing this with you late last week about the eSIM and how you were going in to look. You were speaking about, and you were actually going in to find out why you can't have an eSIM.
Yeah, and, no one will tell me.
So you still haven't got the answer, and you still haven't got the phone.
Tell me one.
Yeah, go.
No, that's right. I was gonna sing it, and I thought better of it. So.
But I don't know. Can you explain why we can't have an eSIM if we're allowed to have it for the watch, but the watch isn't paired to your phone?
The watch is still locked to that carrier. So I think if they're not made to, they're probably not really keen on it because it's too easy to swap between carriers then.
So I can do that now. Just take my SIM out.
I don't know. Best guess I can do. No idea.
That's so frustrating.
Maybe there's some kind of network update they'd have to do and they can't be bothered doing that. Who knows?
I'm on postpaid.
But it works with the watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
I don't use prepaid for anything. I'm on postpaid, but I still do it month by month because I might find a better deal during the month. I have no loyalty anymore whatsoever.
Yeah.
The
Gets that way,
telcos.
doesn't it?
Yeah.
Now, also this week we are brought to you by that famous, magnificent, and we've already talked about it tonight, Audio Pizza on iTunes.
Indeed, you are.
So tell us a little bit more about what's been happening on Audio Pizza on iTunes.
I'm sad to say I don't think we've released a new episode since the last time I was on.
Oh, that was months ago.
It was only 3 weeks. I'll have to go No, actually, I'm actually just quickly jumping over to Safari. I do want people, like, even if, a lot of the stuff on Audio Pizza is very blind specific, and so not for everyone necessarily.
That's what we're not talking about after the bottle of wine. We're talking
exactly.
about
No, that's right.
Impaired sight.
It's impaired vision. It's not for the drunk. Sorry, go ahead, go.
No, you're right. That, even with that in mind, a lot of the roundtable stuff is quite humorous. Like this is, if you enjoy this, you'll probably enjoy a lot of the Audio Pizza stuff. And the audio roundtable series, especially if you subscribe to the actual its own feed where it's not sanitized, where we don't take out all the curse words and the outtakes. We've had a lot of really good feedback on that series, the audio roundtable series. So check in iTunes or Overcast or wherever you listen to podcasts. Ask Google. If you've got a Google Home, ask it to play. Just say, "Hey Google, play the podcast, the audio roundtable," and hopefully you should get it. So yeah, check those out.
Yeah, absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely. Now, Zarn, number 4.
I have, this is a request for Kellyanne, and it's called the Car Cut Maker Machine. Now,
what's that?
Yeah, good. I'm glad you asked. So it's a vinyl cutting machine. It makes like all sorts of different prints that you can put on the t-shirts. You can make Rabbitohs stickers with them. You can make all sorts of different stuff. A friend of ours has a little business, and she is in Parks or Forbes out that way, and she makes all these t-shirts, and she does drink bottles for the kids at school. She does champagne flutes for weddings, mugs, for workplaces, all that sort of stuff, all this little machine. And Kellyanne was really interested in it, and she likes her arts and crafts. And so she said she'd really like one of those. And so I thought, I should put that on there. It's a pretty neat bit of technology.
How do they spell that?
It's CARCUT, Maker Machine. So car cut, one word, Maker Machine.
Okay. Because we're going to put links to all of this in the show notes, of course. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
That's what made the Mason drink bottle, for example.
That's right. When we were at the party yesterday, so the Mason drink bottle and Hunter's shirt that said Huntersaurus, and Mason's shirt that said Huntersaurus. I mean, Masonsaurus. Yeah.
Yeah.
And and I'm getting her to make me one that says Daddysaurus. Actually, now that I think about that, it sounds a little weird.
Not for you.
Just occurred to you now.
You've always been weird.
Exactly. So it's fine. All that stuff that was at the party yesterday that Lee had made, she did all that with her maker machine. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So,
Garth,
number 4 is we're stepping away from Apple now. We're stepping away from Apple to my other great love in life, which is coffee.
Okay.
Not really, but I don't mind brewing in the morning.
I'm pretty sure Karen loves coffee more than she loves us.
Yeah. No, so the Latissima Touch. Latissima, one of the Nespresso machines, that have the Latissima range is the one that I'd recommend if you're looking at that kind of pod machine.
Yeah.
Rather than if you want to spend a bit more and go and get one that actually grinds the coffee for you and all that sort of stuff, by all means, they're great as well. But if you're looking for something convenient, simple, the Latissima series, and now you can get a touch or there's a soft. Then there's another one that's even more expensive again. They all basically do exactly the same thing. It's just how many different buttons have they got to do it? The Stylo has like three preset buttons, and you can adjust the buttons. But you've got one that just does milk, one does coffee, and one does both. And with the touch, the Latissima Touch that we've got, you've got 6 buttons, and you can have 6 different drinks programmed on those buttons.
Yeah.
The thing that's different with the Latissima range is that you have this little container of milk that plugs into the machine, and you just press one button, whatever you want. It steams the milk, puts it in the cup, puts the coffee in the cup, all with the touch of one button. Then you just grab the little container of milk and stick it back in the fridge. It's a whole self-contained little unit. Yeah. So it's not like these ones that has the whizzer beside it, then you tip it in and that sort of thing. Yeah. So check out those next time you're near an espresso store. Yeah. Really nice.
We've got one that's a different brand, and when we take it when we go on holidays.
Yes.
And it fits in the esky, so we just put it in the esky, zip the lid up. That's enough room for all the pods we have, and then morning, night, whatever, we can have our own coffee. Easy as that. So I
don't drink coffee.
You'll grow up one day, son. It's all right.
I used to drink coffee. I used to love coffee. I don't know. I think I'm all coffeeed out. I used to, living in the city of Sydney, there's fantastic cafes everywhere you go, and I think I just drank my fair share of coffee.
How do you feel like coffee? And that's that.
I still enjoy it. I still enjoy one now and then.
Yeah.
Especially, if it's properly made. Now I'm just really picky. Like if I'm in Newtown, I'll go to a certain cafe and I'll get myself a little macchiato or something like that. Yeah.
So my next choice is a mixer so that we can improve the audio for the podcast, but I just don't know which one yet. I need to research it more and more, because you can just keep getting deeper and deeper. I want ones that, either the microphone or the mixer has got to have like a cough button that I can reach and control, as well as one for Zarn. But there's one for Zarn doesn't cut off all the sound, which is what happens at the moment. So we've got to sort of do the mixing, do the cough button before it goes into the rest of the audio. So we're just
speaking of that. There will be a little bit of a blip just in the audio.
Okay, so
because I pressed the button
main
earlier.
thing you want to do to improve the audio is get each person recording individually without the whole Zoom thing.
Yeah.
For the mute thing, have you tried Shush?
Yeah, that's what we use. But for Zarn, because he's on the machine that does the Zoom part.
Yeah.
You can't have Shush and Zoom as 2 separate inputs.
Yeah.
Even using like Audio Hijack or whatever, it's so like a Zarn and Zoom is the choice. So when he hits the Shush button, it stops all the audio. So
let me think about that. You might. So as an import to OBS, you mean?
Yeah.
So you need loop back for that.
Yeah. And so the other challenge is with what you say about having each person record their own audio. That's great.
Except it's more work.
It's a bit more work.
Yeah, a lot more work.
That'd be okay though.
So, and like I can't use that. It's a lot more work to use that audio on the video.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just to get the timing right. So it's just it's amazing how much timing changes just on different recordings.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, but You know,
that,
that's what it takes. That's what it
I
takes.
thought that'd be a good idea because that means I could literally do it on my Apple Mac machine at home.
Yeah.
The other thing you might want to try, Michael, is loopback.
Yeah, I've got that on the machine.
So you've got that on the machine. So there's no reason why you can't have Zarn. Why you can't set up an aggregate device that. Anyway, we'll talk about this off.
yeah. It's. I've got one machine.
Yeah.
It's got Shush and Loopback on it. It's got Zarn's input. It's running the Zoom
client.
The Zoom client. No, it's actually hosting the Zoom meeting. So it's got all the audio coming in for Zoom for that. Yeah, so that's it's got 4 sort of things that are going to mix together. So, but if you can teach me how to use it properly, I'm happy to learn. Absolutely happy to learn.
It's got to be a way. It's got to be a way.
You'd think so.
If we're going to be teaching audio stuff there, I want to be included in that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
So we'll talk about it off list.
Yep.
So here's your challenge, Zarn. Yep. Number 5.
All right. So number 5 sort of connects to number 3 now. And it's called the Osmo iPad and iPhone Interactive Hands and Play System for kids 5 to 12. So it's one part of it is like a drawing station where you plug in your iPhone or iPad, and you draw on the pad. It then comes up. You draw on the connection, and it comes up on the pad. So it's like a drawing tablet. But for kids, and it comes up there. It also brings in touch and play, and it's making kids more interactive, and so they're not just holding it in front of them and watching it. And they're learning something, they're interacting with it, and because we're coming into an age where every kid has this technology and they're better than us at it most of the time. I want my boys to interact with it properly.
Good.
And and so that's called the Osmo, OSOM, iPad and iPhone Interactive Hands-on Play System.
Crikey. Never heard of such a thing, but there you go.
Yeah. And it's Apple specific.
Garth, what's your?
All right, my last one is now I can't remember which is the faster one, but the little portable Samsung drives, T3s, the T5s, SSD, over USB-C. They're so fast, just to read, write. Yeah. So convenient, so much space. Like if I was getting a Mac Mini and I did skimp on the 512 hard drive, get one of these T5s and it's still fantastic read, write and so forth.
So they're SSD,
yeah. But they're really quick.
Excellent. My last choice is an Apple iPad Pro 12.9, and they start at $15.29 Australian. But I can dream, can't I?
Yes.
As soon as I probably can't have an eSIM for that one either, can I?
Not yet.
So yes, I'd only get a Wi-Fi one because I'm quite happy to share my phone, share the data on my phone. I don't quite get the complaints about needing because I find it super reliable. People have had troubles, but they say they want to be able to have data on their Mac, for example. I have no problem sharing the data on my phone. I do it all the time.
I like on the Mac you don't even have to go and activate it on the phone. You just sort of go into Wi-Fi and it'll
choose just does it. Works like a video. I had to do it the other day because I was in an area where the Wi-Fi was restricted about where you could go, and I was trying to use I couldn't use Apple's iMessage to to control another Mac, because you can use iMessage to control another Mac.
Yeah.
Wouldn't let me do that the first time. I couldn't use one of the other services that let you control our TeamViewer.
TeamViewer, yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't use that because it wouldn't let me do it. So I ended up just connecting my phone and using the iMessage to control the Mac that was, on the other side of the country.
From iMessages on the phone?
No, I was using iMessage on my Mac, but I was using the data on the phone.
Yeah, gotcha.
Simple as, like it just worked. Yeah.
Get through all their firewalls and so forth.
Yeah.
Just bypass the firewalls.
Just bypass them altogether. Yeah, so that's basically a list of things that we think people might enjoy or have or want. So, it's just... now, I've just got a little note before we do the promo.
They're all pretty different too. Like, we had a couple that were the same, like Garth and I, but most of them were really different. That was excellent. I can't believe we all were looking at different things.
Yeah. So, I've been getting some new text messages recently. So my car's insured with Woolworths, and they've started sending text messages warning me, "Hi, Michael, there's severe weather near where your car is normally kept. Just say you might want to think about moving it."
Right.
Now, I haven't had a storm yet, even though there are severe weather warnings and, extra wind and blah, blah, blah. But, so I get these now. Whenever there's severe weather where my car is normally kept, it doesn't know where my car is, but it knows where it's normally kept. So,
does that just mean your house?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, but it just says there's a severe weather warning for Penrith. So it just, So I'm assuming that if you're, you live in Queensland somewhere and there's a severe weather warning, you would get a text as well. So it's worth, it mightn't mean much when there's nothing happens, but when you get that one hailstorm come through, where you could have moved your car, that's when it would be annoying.
Yeah.
And I've had I keep my weather app giving me weather warnings because I have been at the school over near the beaches and had a severe storm come through, and I'd left my sunroof open a little bit. So now I go, boom, bad weather coming. Oh, I better go and just check, make sure I close the sunroof. So that's the advantage of having weather apps. But Woolworths, thank you very much for letting me know. That's not an ad for Woolworths. I'm just telling you that this is what's happening to me.
If Woolworths would like to sponsor us, please call us.
Yeah, but they won't give me an eSIM because I've asked them as well.
They won't give you one.
So, don't forget our show promotion is the show next. We have show notes each week on however you normally download. You'll see the show notes, and you just go to aussiemaczone.com.au and you can go in there and get it. You can search for Aussie Mac Zone on Spotify. As I said, Apple News, we have Aussie Mac Zone, and I put as soon as I heard about it with that email that Apple sent everybody, I think it was on Tuesday, to say that they had Black Friday deals all over the weekend, even in Australia.
Yep.
Yeah, so we chucked that up there as soon as I found out.
We got some
because
great bargains.
I knew our show wasn't going to be there until the end. Now, don't forget, thanks to our sponsors, this week being startnewcompany.com.au and that infamous audio pizza.
Infrequent.
Audio pizza on iTunes and Team. Yeah, so thank you very much, Garth, again.
Thanks, Garth.
Thanks, guys. Thanks, boys.
Excellent. Thank you, Zarn.
Thank you, Michael.
All right.
Thank you, sponsors. Thank you, listeners. Thank you, watchers. And remember, apple a day keeps the androids away. See you guys.